interesting that Francis Xavier was a Basque missionary. Basque is in Spain, but both the mausoleum as well as the silver casket have Italian origins.
Within the Basilica of Bon Jesus, situated in Old Goa, in the middle of the chapel dedicated to Saint Francis Xavier, there stands a beautiful monument of a tomb which is a gift from Cosmas III, who was the Grand Duke of Tuscany, Italy, a perfect piece of work admired in the whole of Asia. Pope Pius XII proclaimed the grandeur of this mausoleum when declaring the Church of Bon Jesus as a minor basilica in 1946, using the very words of the Memoria sobre a Igreja do Bom Jesus, Goa. It was the regal gift not of Ferdinand II but of Cosmas III, as rightly pointed out by later historians. This duke was moved to commission this monument, a splendid tomb in fine Italian inlaid marble, when Father Francisco Sarmento, procurator of the Goa province, carried and offered to the Duke in Florence a cushion on which the head of the holy body of Saint Francis Xavier had been resting for some time. The mausoleum is the work of the famous Florentine sculptor of the time, Giovanni Battista Foggini. It took him 10 years to complete it. It was then packed in pieces in 65 boxes. The consignment of colored and smooth stone, bronze relief, and cherubims of marble. There were besides 15 other boxes containing material of holy water stoups and lavabos, all gifts of the same pious Duke of Florence to the Church of Saint Cajetan, which is situated not very far away from the Bon Jesus. All this precious cargo was accompanied by two artists, one of whom was Placido Francisco Ramponi by name, who kept a diary of his voyage and from Goa for the information of his generous patron. Ramponi reached Goa on 13th of September 1698 and stayed at the Church of Saint Cajetan, rather in the monastery of Saint Cajetan, and soon after he set up the holy water stoups and lavabos in the Church of Saint Cajetan. He began work on the mausoleum. This beautiful mausoleum consists of three parts. The lower part is a rectangular platform of jasper. In the middle of each side there is a symbolic sculpture in white marble, cherubs at the four corners, two angels holding wreaths of leaves and flowers running on the longer sides over the border. Later on, arrangements were made to offer masses on all four sides. So if you look at the mausoleum today, there are four altars on it, one on each side of it. Some writers assert that as the original mausoleum was found too big, it was adjusted in dimensions so that it actually fit well into the chapel that was created to house the sacred relics of Saint Francis Xavier. It is said that Ramponi himself had realized that the chapel of Saint Francis was too small for this mausoleum. He would have liked to move it, or rather remove it and place it into a different place that is today the sanctuary of the basilica, if he had a little more time, because he says that he had to move back to Europe, so he did not really have much time to relocate it, and hence he thought of placing the mausoleum in the same place that it is today. Coming to the casket of Saint Francis Xavier. By the year 1637, the remains of the saint had been placed within a newly crafted silver casket. On December 2nd, 1637, the body was housed in this new silver casket. It had been commissioned by a Jesuit priest, Marcello Mastrelli, who was cured from his deathbed through the intercession of Saint Francis Xavier. This casket was created by Goan silversmiths between 1636 and 1637 and stands as one of the finest examples of integration and influence of Italian artistry in India. It represents a rare instance of the harmonious blending of Italian and Indic artistic styles, showcasing classical elements such as Corinthian columns and volutes alongside distinctive Indian filigree work. The pyramidal shape of the casket's upper section is reminiscent of certain Indian ivory coffers or temples. Some authors, including Philippe Neri-Chevier, who chronicled the saint's life, were misled by the presence of Corinthian columns and mistakenly attributed this casket's origins to Italy. It was not until Mr. FX was that art historians like Professor Reinaldo dos Santos recognized the distinctly Indian characteristics of the silver casket's decoration. Nevertheless, it is not surprising that this artwork was influenced by Italian design, which had a presence in Goa since quite some time. The casket featured 32 silver plates on all four sides, each illustrating various episodes from the saint's life.